All right, let's talk about something that can open up a ton of jobs in warehouses, factories, and construction sites all over the UK, getting your forklift certification. We're going to cover everything you need to know, and we'll do it in about 5 minutes.
So you're thinking about getting behind the controls of one of these powerful machines, right? It's a super important job in so many industries, but where do you even start when it comes to getting qualified? Don't you worry, we're going to cut right through all the confusing stuff. This is your quick, no-nonsense guide to getting started. So let's kick things off by tackling the biggest myth out there.
Okay, first things first. We have to clear up something that trips a lot of people up. You hear the term forklift license thrown around all the time, but honestly, it's a little bit misleading. This is really the heart of the matter. Is there some kind of official government-issued card that lets you operate any forklift anywhere in the country? Well, the short answer is nope. So here's what's really going on. Unlike a car license, there is no single national forklift license. What you actually need, and what every employer is looking for, is a certificate that proves you passed an accredited training course.
So what does accredited even mean? Well, it's pretty important. It means the training you're getting isn't from some random person in a shed. It's from a provider that's been officially checked out and approved by a body recognized by the Health and Safety Executive, the HSE. It's all about making sure the training hits a high safety standard.
And these are the big players, the 6 official HSE-recognized bodies. Any legit training provider will be accredited by one of them. So if you see a logo like AITT, ITSSR, or RTITB, you know you're in the right place, and that certificate will actually be worth something to an employer.
Okay, let's get into the nitty-gritty details that everybody wants to know about. What's this all going to cost you? How long will it take? And what are the main rules you need to be aware of?
Let's talk money. For someone completely new to this, a course is probably going to set you back somewhere between 200 and 800 pounds. Now, that's a big range, I know, but it really depends on the type of forklift and where you do the training. And hey, if you're just doing a quick refresher, it can be way cheaper, sometimes under 100 quid.
What about age? Well, technically, you can leave school at 16, but almost every company out there is going to require you to be at least 18 years old to operate a forklift. And that's not just a suggestion. If you're aiming to work in a port, 18 is the absolute minimum, no exceptions.
And how long is your certificate good for? This is interesting. Your original certificate, it never actually expires. But, and this is a big but, the official recommendation is that you take a refresher course every 3 to 5 years. It just keeps you sharp on all the safety rules and any new tech. This is a big one. Do you need a regular car driver's license? Well, it depends. If you're just going to be driving the forklift inside a private warehouse or a factory site, then no, you don't. But the second you need to drive that thing on a public road, even just to cross the street to another building, you absolutely must have a full UK driver's license.
All right, next up, you got to understand that forklift certification isn't a one-size-fits-all deal. The certificate you get is for the specific machine you trained on, and believe me, there's a whole world of different forklifts out there. Just to give you an idea, look at these 3. The counterbalance is kind of your everyday workhorse in most warehouses. Then you've got the reach truck, which is specially designed for those super narrow aisles because its forks can extend forward. And a cherry picker? Totally different. It lifts people up to work at heights. Each one of these needs its own separate training.
So here's the bottom line. Your certificate is not a magic key for all forklifts. Getting certified on a counterbalance does not mean you can just hop on a reach truck. So what's the takeaway? Simple. The more types of machines you're certified on, the more valuable you are. More skills really do mean more opportunities.
Okay, so you get how the certification works. But how do you actually turn that into a job and start building a career? Let's talk strategy for getting hired and, just as importantly, staying at the top of your game. What if you're starting from scratch with 0 experience? No problem. First, play up any related experience you have, even if it's just working around a warehouse. Second, make it clear that you're physically fit and have a great eye for detail and safety. But honestly, the best way, step 3, is to find a company that will actually provide the training for you.
And this really gets to why that on-the-job training is so golden. You could go out and pay for a generic course yourself, sure, but it might not be the best move because a good employer will want you trained on their specific machines in their specific warehouse. Getting trained through your job is almost always the best way to go. And one last thing about staying sharp, remember that refresher training we talked about? While it's highly recommended, an employer isn't legally required to provide it for you.
This is actually a really smart question to ask in a job interview. It shows you're serious about safety and about your own professional growth.
And there you have it. You now know the difference between the license myth and the certification reality. You know the costs and the rules, and you have a solid strategy for getting your foot in the door. You've got the map. The only question is, are you ready to start the engine?